Paul Gosar.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, Chief Clem, how are you doing? Jonathan Lyons said to say hi to you.
Good afternoon, sir. Good to see you.
Good. You know, you've experienced more than probably anybody in this room, down in that Yuma sector. I have a small part of Yuma, but it's been overrun. I want you to talk about what was just found on our border, these 8 IEDs and the 4 Rucker-propelled grenades.
Well, I don't have that much fidelity anymore because I'm retired, but I can tell you what has been open source, and that is a place near La Nariz, which is in Sonoita, outside of Sonoita, Mexico. I would say about 40 miles southeast of Lukeville, Arizona. They're near Ajo, Arizona. And my understanding, it was less than 1/10 of a mile from the border. There was several IEDs and RPGs. More than likely, based on my experience, that is for cartel infighting, taking over land, using it to, embolden their operations over there. But being that close to the U.S. border, it is a threat. It's a threat to everybody in the region. It doesn't take much for somebody to turn an RPG or put an IED right there at the border and injure any of our CBP personnel or Border Patrol agents. So something like that close to our border is a concern. That's why I say it's more than immigration. It's border security, it's national security.
Right. You know, we haven't had anybody, and I'm being facetious here now, we haven't had anybody from the Middle East at all come across those borders, have we?
We've had them from all over the country, all over the world, excuse me. 177 different countries, I believe, in the last few years. Yuma was no exception. We had plenty of people, over 116, 117 different countries during the 2 years I was chief there.
When you were chief, how many people were on the terrorist watch list that came through?
I actually led the nation in 2022 with 40 people that were apprehended that came across the terrorist screening database.
And those are the ones you just knew about, right?
Those are the ones we just knew about, yes, sir.
The gotaways don't count.
We have no idea who or what their intentions are.
What's your general feeling about cells in this country?
Well, I think we're fooling ourselves if we think that's not occurring, right? I think anybody with any law enforcement military background understands that the enemy is going to amass its army any way, shape, it can. The fact that we've had close to 1.8 or 9 million gotaways with no idea who they are, and I'm sure a small percentage of them, or a majority of them, are not on a watch list, but it doesn't take many. But I would think that, fact of the matter is we've got concerns because we've got so many people from all around the world that have snuck into this country illegally that we don't know about.
Now, Yuma has been it's kind of out there, and they're all by themselves out there, right? And so they take an awful lot of, the locals are really doing the lowman's share of having to deal with these people, right?
That's correct.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your reactions or relationship with the sheriff there, Wilmot?
I'm very fortunate. I have a very good relationship with all the local leadership, the mayor, the sheriff, the county supervisors. We had to pull together as a community to handle the influx. We went, from I've mentioned earlier, in 2020, just over 8,800 arrests to over 110,000, 114,000 arrests, up to 300,000 arrests, 312,000 arrests in 2022. That took an entire toll on everything from the EMS service, the medical services, the food bank, law enforcement. We had to come together and build a team, a community team, using non-government organizations to help so we're not releasing people in the street in places like Yuma, Arizona, when it's 120 degrees in the summertime. And I was just there last week. I met with some of the same people, and there are still facilities like the hospital that still haven't recovered over $25 million, I think, in medical funds, and even the food bank is still having a hard time replenishing some of the stuff they had that they used to help with the migrant influx there.
And that food bank was one of the biggest in the state, right? It's huge.
Because of the migrant population and the agriculture in Yuma, they had a lot of support, and for that to get depleted was pretty impactful.
And if I'm not wrong, the hospital there, if you were a citizen who was pregnant, you couldn't get a labor or OBGYN to see you because they were all filled. You had to go all the way to Phoenix, which is a pretty hefty drive, right?
The CEO has made that statement of the hospital that because of a lot of the influx, people coming directly to the hospital that were in need of OBGYN or labor and delivery, they had to reschedule people that were planning to come in here for births, cesarean sections. Those things had to be canceled or rescheduled because of that. So yes, that is a factual statement.
I thank you very much, and thank you for your service. Appreciate you. And like I said hi for Jonathan Lyons. Thank you very much. I yield back.